as a teacher, one of the first things I learned about being a teacher is you have to teach people what they see, not what you say. A lot of times you have to let them know it's already there. It's nothing that I really have to show you. It's just something that you have to realize, take note, and really see. The black image, or the so-called black people's image, the Blackamoor image, is taking the biggest hit in history. Because we forget old, grown folk proverbs because it's not being passed down. And one is, everything ain't good for you. Another one is, everything that glitters ain't gold. Another one is, everything isn't for you. Now, if you tell that to today's society, because this generation is completely different. And I respect the difference. I respect the difference of inclusion and not exclusion. But the one thing about being included in everything is now you are under someone else's protection. You are under someone else's rules. You are under somebody else's laws. You are under somebody else's guidelines. You are under someone else's policies. So however, and they do what they will with you, you signed up for it. So when we don't take heed to old grown folk proverbs, being proactive in action, to do before it be done to you, everything isn't for you. I'm going to give you some examples that you see. Once upon a time, and this comes from I was listening to this podcast or a video, and it was talking about the black actors in Hollywood and the things that they had to do to get the success that they got. Now, once upon a time, black folk were never allowed to be in Hollywood productions because they were not for us. Now, all we did was created our own productions, movies that were all, as they say right there, all colored, all black, all Negro, all African American, all American. And we could once upon a time control our image. We once upon a time could control how the world see us because it was under our exclusive all black covenant. When the black image, fast forward 30 years, from like the 1940s, 1930s to the 1970s, our image got pimped out, which they call black exploitation movies. They actually called it black exploitation movies. Why do they call it black exploitation movies? Because the black image was now exploited in images that were stereotypical. Pimps, gangsters, drug dealer, pushers, people in the street, people that went under no rules, no laws. Now, from these black exploitation movies, you had now the new black director, the black creator. No different than in the 40s and 30s, where they just danced and sung the whole movie. These movies now exploited the image of black as prostitutes and pimps, drug dealer, gangsters, people that went above or below the law to do what they had to do. And it might have been a reason of protecting someone, a family, an image, a community, but it also, in a lot of ways, went against the law and did illegal activities. But there were powerful images because in most cases it was some step and fetch it, a very low class of black image being presented. And then when the black image got to be in quote unquote Hollywood, being produced through Hollywood movies, manufacturers, and distributors, They had to be a pimp. They had to be a drug dealer. And then in most cases in the 80s, these black images still stayed that until a new creative director, Spike Lee, so forth and so forth, the Hughes brothers brought a more inclusive image of black after the black exploitation movies. Moving on, Eddie Murphy. I mean, all these different, Martin Lawrence, all these different images trying to clean it up, but still covering black exploitation. Our image. We went from trying to be included to be pimped out, to the point we pimp ourselves out. Everything isn't for you. It just isn't. If it wasn't made by you or your people, it ain't for you. Many people that build businesses get them taken from them because they built something that they may have wanted to produce for either themselves or, quote unquote, the general population. But when you give anything to the general population can take it from you. Because it is now inclusive. Point in fact, original versus mainstream has always been the sellout point in black culture, so-called black culture. Are you going to stay for you people, or are you going to go for the top dollar and get yourself pimped out, and being your image is now not going to be controlled? The creator and the manufacturer. The urban versus everybody, the hip-hop versus today's pop. Today's pop is hip-hop because it is popping everywhere on commercials, and it's been that way for the last 20 years. Regardless of the hip-hop 50, hip-hop has been selling products for years. More than 2 decades. At least 3 decades solid. A solid 30 years it has been selling. And they made movies in the 80s also. Rapping, check it out. Rapping Call with Mario Van Peebles in it. Was an 80s movie. Crush Groove, which was done by the creators, not the manufacturer. Breaking, those movies are manufacturers. They're not the creator. It is a difference, because what they do, they taught a white girl how to break dance. Do you understand? Everything isn't for you, and what you give to someone else, you can never ever control it again, because you want to be inclusive and not exclusive. And things today is still exclusive. It doesn't necessarily make it discriminating. It makes it for you. It makes it for your kind, for your people, something that you can protect the image of. Anytime the image of a black person is sold out, it is beyond deplorable what they do. Beyond deplorable what they do. You saw what Halle Berry had to do to win an Oscar. What did she do in that movie? You saw what Monique had to do in that movie to get an Oscar. You saw the 2-time Denzel Washington, what he had to do. He had to be a slave and then a gangster criminal cop. You don't understand the image that you no longer can protect.